I think we can start now. So, hello guys, thanks a lot for joining in this call. Um, we are going to today cover, it is the first session after our earlier demo session to start a basic cycle or basic sales and distribution training on the S4HANA 2020 system. So as earlier described, we are going to cover, there is a two part of the training here. Basic sales and distribution on S4HANA 2020 and advanced functionality of the S4HANA for the sales and distribution module, as well as in general HANA migration and all other concepts of the HANA system, S4HANA system. And that would be a separate course. We would start that separate course once we'll be done with our basic setup of the system. So it can we can give an opportunity to the people who has joined this particular course to later move to the advanced course as well. I would very quickly take you guys through very initial topics. In general, everyone would be mute. However, I would prefer our session stays we talk to each other. It should be an interactive session. And to have an interactive session after every topic, once we will be done, I would open up for any kind of questions and answers, and you guys can raise your hand, and based on that we can unmute you so you can come up with your question. Definitely we want to cover certain topics, and we will be mindful of that particular point as well. You all can see on my screen how, in case you are interested to continue for this particular session and training in future, you can always approach to the phone number mentioned on the system on the screen via WhatsApp, as well as if you are in India, direct call. And you can also approach by sending a mail or a post session. You can post a query to support@sastrageek.com. You can also check all the content, course informations, session schedules on the www.sastrageek.com. You will get all the details regarding to the course fee, course structure, what topics are being covered, and so on and so forth on the site itself. So I'm not going to repeat and take your time by taking you guys through that particular part, because that is very self-explanatory, and I would like to really start the topic to initiate and introduce you guys to the ERP and SAP system today. A very quick point for the people who had not got an opportunity to join our demo session. I am Rudrapal. I would be your trainer for the core sales and distribution module on our S4HANA 2020 system. I'm having more than 13 plus years of experience as a consultant on various kind of projects, implementation, support, rollout, upgrade projects, multiple end-to-end implementation cycle experience. And I have worked as a corporate trainer internally, as well as an external corporate trainer for many of the companies to train to the people on the sales and distribution. I have wide industry exposure, which comprise healthcare, technology, FMCG, and many other areas. So last session, we had covered the customer hierarchy topic. However, we will be, when we will be going through the more detailed sessions, we will end up touch basing almost all of the topics which has been discussed, which we had even covered as part of the demo session. But coming back to the point, what is our today's agenda? What we would like to know in our first session. So our first session, our today's agenda is to discuss about ERP and SAP. What we are going to have a discussion is, what is ERP? What does SAP mean in that ERP world? How SAP came into picture? What is the main reason in the SAP? What are the important part of the SAP, which we generally call a module? What is sales and distribution, and probably what is material management or a purchasing, and so on and so forth. We'll talk about what are the modules as part of the today's session. After that, I would like to introduce you guys to how SAP had started their system and how SAP's journey progressed Why nowadays people are more and more interested to have the training or a learning session on S4 HANA system. What is so different between very early version of the SAP to reach to the S4 HANA system? So we will take ourselves through all those aspects today. We will also discuss which kind of projects would be in the market, which kind of user role we initially interact with. And also, I would like to very simply, depending upon how much time is remaining, I would like to, at a high level, touch base to the basic sales and distribution cycle, that when we imagine a sales and distribution cycle, actually what has happened, how the information pass through, what are the stages of that particular cycle, what we need to think about. Overall, our sessions timing is 4 hours. In general, it would be 4 hours. Um, can see in a comment that some people are not able to hear it. Sai, can you please confirm if you can hear my voice properly?
Yes, sir. I have asked them as well.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so definitely means we are going to cover at a high level what are the processes and so on and so forth. And given time available time, we will take ourselves through the simple sales and distribution cycle. And then later from the next session onwards, we will jump into the core details. Our session structure, if you would have already verified it earlier, would be only on Sunday, every Sunday, 4 hours of timing. However, today is the first session as well itself, and I really don't want to surprise you guys on the first day itself with a 4 hours long session. So we will try to keep today's session as a bit shorter in general. We will also take a break in between after almost 1.5 hours. So that will give a time that, and you guys are not too much stuck on your seat for a very long period of time. And that would be the same structure even in future whenever we will have the course. This is generally a standard setup of all the trainings which happens at the training level, and we are going to follow exactly the same approach. So without spending any more time, let's jump into the topic. In general, I have a very good internet connection, but in case anyone face any problem in terms of hearing my voice or any other aspect or topics, definitely write it down in the chat, and our support team will help you guys for any other. And if the problem is on your side, they will check it. Otherwise, they will approach me, and we will sort out. We never know when the internet may give up, so that's the main reason. So our main purpose of the day, um, ERP. Question: what is ERP? We have all, or more or less, if you are interested right now in this session, that means you guys have heard one way or another way ERP word. And if you have done the MBA, there is a dedicated sessions or a dedicated chapters about the ERP, because at the end of the day, this is something which is very close to the heart of the business. Or anyone who wants to do the business, ERP system in a one way or another way is very close to their heart. The full form of ERP is actually enterprise resources and planning. We just focus on the name enterprise. We are typically talking about a business, any of the business, any of the company who are dealing, who are in a value addition business. That means either they are providing service or they have a product available which they can sell to us. Any of business resources. You cannot just do the business without any resources. That would never be generally, that would never be the situation. Even if you have to do an invention, you need certain amount of resources. Either you have an offices, you have a manufacturing site, you may be doing, if you do not have a manufacturing site, you may be doing a trading business, but there would be some kind of resources which you end up utilizing. We are talking about those resources, right? where all those resources you need to use it in an effective manner, which would at the end of the day help you or you as a company to run the best business. At the end of the day, you want to do the profit, and that you can achieve in a efficient manner if you can plan your resources very well. And that's how the terminology ERP, enterprise resources and planning, came into picture. One of the point like ERP, we have all we have all known the word ERP, but I have a question for all of you who are in the call right now. Which other ERP you guys are aware other than the SAP? Please, you can write down your answers in the chat box, and I would just like to know that which kind of ERP tools you guys have ever heard of. Yes, BAN. R3 is a type of SAP actually. JD Edwards, yes, I can see. Siebel, SAP itself, that's always there. Oracle, yeah, yeah,
People,
pretty much, pretty
people
much
stuff.
all. PeopleSoft, yes. You can call it Tally as well. Tally is also that one of the ERP tool actually.
Ban, BANN, ban.
Yes, BAN. Yeah, someone had already mentioned the BAN. Good. So this exactly shows that we have a right kind of audience. This was a very quick check for the information. We talked about SAP. We talked about JD Edwards.
Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos.
We talked about Oracle, BAN, even Tally itself can be considered. And there may be many more, like PeopleSoft, we said, many more. In the world right now, if you go ahead and ask who is the leading ERP in the market, SAP is the leading ERP in the market. If I remember my last analysis point, the market share, 22% of the market share of the companies is like ERP system is with SAP. And immediate next level comes Oracle with the 11%. Don't ask me the other systems percentage. I don't know, but I can tell you that these are the top two, and you can see very clearly the margin difference. Like first number one and number two has a 50% of the size difference, and that shows how effective SAP is already working as an ERP. For a very simple terminology or a comparison point of view, if we consider um, if we consider if ERP is a soap, then SAP is more like a dove. In simple words, I'm trying to say, if this subset talks about ERP, that means there are many options available, and out of all those options, one of the option is SAP. And why do we need SAP? Means what is the so much necessity of having ERP, or at least one of the ERP in the system? So ERP actually provides you the capability to run your business all across the module. Typically, what as a business guy or what as a business owner you are interested? You are interested in sales, right? If you are doing some kind of sales, you are interested in a sales, that whatever sales I do, I want to track. You are also interested in purchasing, because one way or another way you may be purchasing a services or a product or inventory, and you want to track that. If you are dealing with the stock upfront, then you are interested to track stock tracking as in inventory management. Or you are interested in your finance itself. In fact, your finance tracking alone can be an independent tools like a Tally. So that also can be the point. If you are really interested in a big enough business, you are interested in a cost controlling, and to do all these things you need a tool or a system
Right.
which if you are not talking, guys, can you please go on mute? Okay, so if you need a tool or a system which can help in doing all above activities, everything which I mentioned, and over and above, to track. It can support you to track any of the situation, your system situation, your business situation, as well as support you in doing a reporting, right kind of a reporting, a financial reporting, a reporting which is facing your like a government. You may have to provide the tax information, you may have to provide the excise information. The system which can help you to do all this, that would be called ERP. So in general, the wording is enterprise resource and planning, but the very simplified layman meaning is a tool or system which can help you manage your business and support you in tracking your the activities as well as reporting them correctly. Now, why SAP is having the 22% of the business? Like, what is so special about SAP, which probably not every tool may be providing, or maybe providing partially. So for example, if you took like think about SAP, there are companies who makes needle to aeroplane. All this level of the company, A to Z, all the level of company, every kind of a business managing company is at the end of the day right now in the world using the SAP. And that brings a vast amount of business process experience for the SAP guys, because all these companies, when they are running their business, they also come back with their improvement suggestions within those industry. And that helps, and SAP does the analysis, think about all across the impact, and SAP is also consistently coming back with improving their functionality, improving their systems, and many of the time coming back with the industry specific solutions. And this makes SAP so much special and a market leader compared to many other ERP systems. And if we are interested to learn SAP, it really makes sense that we understand why SAP is very effective. I'll move to the next topic. That okay, we understood, we established the fact that what is ERP and how SAP helps. But we need to also understand from a wide impact point of view that what things SAP in general can support, because SAP has you can call it a core setup, right? Core setup, a basic setup which can support the business. That was my first comment. So these various sections which we were describing earlier, that sales, purchasing, inventory tracking, finance, controlling, what these things are and what we are calling it, those things are called modules in SAP. Not only in SAP, actually almost all the ERP system more or less they will call it a module, but very recently like Salesforce and so forth systems, um, this boundaries of the modules is diluting, and it is becoming more techno functional role with the business process understanding. But in SAP course setup point of view, we call it a modules. And this makes sense. Then we also understand, let's understand what are the important modules. Which are the important modules in the SAP and how they relate to each other, right? Because we really need to understand why, how, what kind of way. So I would like to start first and foremost with core, core of the SAP system, finance, and actually controlling. What do you mean by finance and controlling module? Simply, everyone needs the system where they can do the reporting, they can do the they can manage their finances. One of the core initial level of the tool to track your financials was Tally. Initially, it was only and only was tracking your sales related financial entry, purchase related financial entries, and later they improved more towards the direction of inventory tracking and that inventory related financial trackings, right? But it was a core financial and cost controlling kind of a system. But as part of financials, what we are talking about? So we are talking about AR, right? Accounts receivable. When we sell a product, we need to receive the money, and that's considered as an accounts receivable, one of the important function. Accounts payable. When we purchase the product from a vendor, we have to pay as a company to them, and that's typically a tracking of the accounts payable. You may also have various kind of assets, correct? Many of the assets. You have your like equipments, probably you may have materials, you may have many of other inventory. So you are tracking them also at a financial level, and that means you need an asset management functionality as well, right? So at the end of the day, you want to maintain your financial books and balance sheet, and all the things related to that will be handled or managed by the finance and controlling FICO module. But we are right now going to talk about a sales and distribution, right? That's our focus. So let's start with the sales and distribution. We call it in short SD, or many of the time you will come across the word OTC, order to cash cycle, or a sales and distribution process. So when we talk about a sales and distribution process, we are actually interested in doing a sales. But it's not just a sales, because we are dependent at the end of the day on having a product if it is an inventory specific business. And that means SAP also gave a core setup which is known as PP, production planning. First, you have to produce the stock or a good before you can start selling it. So there is an interaction between these two modules. Typically, we call it an integration between the modules. When two modules interacts with each other for any specific information, we call it integration of the module, right? Then from the production planning, but if you have to manufacture something, you may need a raw material to do that, right? If you are in a heavy equipment making, but just to make that heavy equipment, initially you need the material, you need the metal, you need the tools, you need the equipment, many other things, and you may have to buy those things. And when we are talking about buying, you may probably need an input from the material management, or you can call it purchasing. And once you are managing already the inventory, because you are now purchasing the inventory, raw materials and all, and that means you can call it IM, inventory management. And whenever you are having finished goods product, once you are done with the producing, after by using that raw material, you are done with the producing and planning and production process, you are now having the stock. And this is the stock which you will sell as part of the sales and distribution module. So in a way, there is a very basic, very important cycle of the sales, very important logistic cycle is in the play. They are all interacting with each other, and all the time they always interact with your finance module. When you are creating a billing to the customer, you are providing the information to the accounts receivable. When you are purchasing the things, you are again providing the information to your finance module for accounts payable, because you want to pay to the vendor. Whenever you have a stock, you are evaluating the stock. You have to find out, you all at any point of time as a company, you need to know that how much value worth of stock do I have? How much value worth of stock I'm consuming or I have sold? You want to find out the cost of goods sold, right? And those all those systems which are consuming the inventory or purchase and sales, they are all interacting with the finance and CO. And these are the systems which are called the core systems or core modules. Now, if you have a production planning process, or imagine you are in a business of selling an equipment or instrument, those instrument needs to be maintained, because if you have bought a refrigerator You have bought a refrigerator from the Whirlpool, and if there is a problem, you need a maintenance support. And that's something which is also one of the core modules, CS, customer service. And same way, when you have instruments available, you want to do your own instruments, like preventive maintenance. You want to do the plant maintenance. If something breaks up, you want to do the analysis and work on fixing those things, and that is called plant maintenance module. Why I'm talking about all this module, so you guys realize and get an idea that how these all the modules are interacting with each other.
Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos.
There are advanced modules as well. These were whatever we talked about is a core, very core modules, very core functional modules we talk about till now. But there are technical support, technical system support as well, because none of the ERP system, whichever you are interested to learn going forward, SAP, JD Edwards, Oracle, whatever, they all need at the end of the day technical support, because they are written on some kind of programming language. They are having the database management because they are storing and reutilizing the data, and they are interacting with many other systems. Or you want as a customer very special function and additional functionality, and that means you need support. All those modules are called um, technical modules. I'll write down here a technical modules. It's more like a parallel world, literally parallel world to the our functional setup. So for example, first I started with every system is written on some kind of technical language, some kind of programming. Many of us may have the IT background, then you guys would know more about the programming language than me, because I have more a functional background, functional knowledge. However, in SAP, the core language is an ABAP for the programming. So SAP gives you some certain control, certain setup, and that would be for any other tool, but they will give you additionally an option if you want to change the system behavior and want to make it as per your business process, more adaptable, more easier. You will have the language like an ABAP. Or you want to interact with completely different system or another SAP system, and that is called another module like a PI, process interface. Now imagine you are having the sales process in the SAP, but you have very special production process which you are like not you have kept it well managed and hidden in a very different kind of industry specific tool which is out of the SAP. But that means you have to make sure both of your system talks to each other, and that system to make those both of the systems, the outside of the SAP system and your SAP system talking to each other, you need a support of technical guys, and these are the guys who will do that support. Also, we talk about database, right? Now database management is a very big thing in general, DBM, but we are also calling those guys basis guys as a module. These are the guys who make sure that your SAP system or your any ERP system does not go down. These are the guys who make sure that who make sure that you are getting a good speed when you are running the transaction. If some of you are users in your current company and working as an end user on your system, many of the time you guys would have complained, today my SAP system is so slow. I'm pressing an enter and it's still moving. It's not going to the next screen. It's not giving me my desired result immediately, and I really want it fast. Those all the complaints of the system, its memory, its speed, it's giving me the error, stop my program suddenly. Those are the things which are managed by our database management guys, which are typically the basis guys. And Nowadays, you have a more advanced functional like applications and all, your Fiori and all, and they are getting written on the different language UI5. So what I'm trying to say at the end of the day, there are many of the systems which are a parallel to our transactional system who helps us to keep running the transaction. And that means like a BI or BW system, where every transaction which you are punching, you at the end of the day need the data, report, information out which can be interpreted logically to make the business decision. Should I still continue doing my business in probably the northern region of my country? Apparently, I'm doing more loss and less sales. Should I do that? But such a business critical decision, if someone has to take, he has to first get all the data, analyze it, determine determine a report out of it, and that report will generate some kind of idea or a logical decision making capacity by considering certain KPI. And those kind of capacity, where do we do it? In the BI and BW system. So all these technical modules, and there are many more, this is just a few of them, but there are many more which at the end of the day helps us to run our ERP system. And this statement is true for any ERP system, not only SAP system. There are also modules like MDG, which is the master data governance. You may have also here some more logistics module, which are newly coming, like transportation management or a logistics execution. There are advanced models. Or when I say MM, you may have also heard about EWM, extended warehouse management, or the traditional warehouse management. There are also models. Or you may have heard about the more CRM based, like CRM, sales, uh, pre-sales systems, CRM, or from the MM point of view, supplier relationship management, SRM. So there are advanced modules which were developed by SAP over the period of time to cater very specific functionality or add the more values for the big business. But for a normal, small, mid-scale, average company, the core modules are the most important modules which would work out almost all the requirements which are there. So I will take a pause here and to check if any one of you have any questions. You guys can raise the hands and we can definitely discuss if you have any questions till now, whatever I have mentioned. I guess we do not have any question. That means either you are not able to hear me or you have understood very well. Ah,
Hello.
yes. Yes, Sagar.
So whatever you said that SDMM basis, I just wanted to know when we work on a real time, so they are integrated with each other, or else, or they are working separately, or some part of they are integrated only, or they are integrated fully, 100% to depend on each other, or they are working separately. I think my question, I'm not able to know that way, but I just wanted to know if SD, MM, whatever you said, that PP model, they are integrated some part when we go to real time, or they are depend on each other in every step and every stage in real time.
Um, yes. Okay, I understood your question, Salesh. Let me explain. So, can you go on mute, please?
Yeah, I done already moved.
Okay, but then there is some. Okay, we'll go one after another, guys, for the questions. So let me first answer this question. We discussed that are these systems very integrated, means all the times, or they can be completely independently installed or managed, and so on and so forth. With the time when the ECC came, and now I'm jumping one step ahead because one of the topic which is coming next, the evolution of the SAP, which we would have talked about. But in general, let's consider that you are doing a sales process, and to do the sales process you need to have the stock, and stock is part of the inventory management. So there is a connection between these two sections, that and that functionality is called the availability check for the stock or material, right? And this particular functionality makes sure that these two modules interacts. But from a systematic point of view, if you think, it is just a one big box where all these modules are part of it. They are always talking to each other based on certain functionality and relationship. Like our sales and finance, when you create an invoice for the sales and distribution module point of view, invoice creation means printing out the bill and giving it to the customer and done. But for the finance point of view, and this is where the handover happens, and this handover is an integration. We are kind of giving that particular um, we are giving that this much amount, xyz amount, I need to now collect from the customer, and that information we are giving to the accounts receivable for the books to be updated. And when the customer will pay it back, we clear that invoice, right? Invoice clearing happens. So modules talks to each other. After ECC onwards, actually whenever you buy an SAP core license, you get all the modules by default. But many of the time, for example, S4 HANA, there is an option to have only the finance module, simple finance, activated on any of the system, or you can run it independently as well. For example, TM module, transportation management. Yes, you can buy all the licenses as well as you can run that particular module completely independent. What if you have Oracle as your ERP system, and then you decided, unfortunately, Oracle transportation management does not give me all the functionality which I'm looking for. I would like to go for the SAP transportation management. Yes, you can have that particular module independently, but that really depends upon which kind of system or a module it is, and if it is designed to be handled independently or not. So core modules are always talking to each other, and they are dependent on each other.
Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos.
One way or another way, you would always have a touch between them. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
No problem. I can see one more question. What is BI and BW? BI and BW is typically BW is business warehouse management. BI is called intellectuals. I business information. I think I probably forgot the exact words.
Business intelligence.
Yes, business intelligence. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Yes, BI is business intelligence. So warehouse is more BW is more like collecting the data and collecting and keeping the data available. And BI, business intelligence, is more like utilizing various kind of an application, reports, KPI reporting, and so on and so forth to interpret or reach to the KPI reporting and make the right decisions out of it. It can be as interacting you as dashboard or running dashboard kind of a functionality, and pretty sophisticated options are available in the BI. And in market, there are many more other functionalities available. Let me quickly see. Transport management system configuration for landscape. I did not get this particular point. Transport management system configuration for landscape. Is that a question? Okay, there are some more questions. So let me touch base one after another. Okay, so logistics execution, please. Yes, logistics execution, LE. In traditional ECC, there is one of the module, which is, we call it logistics execution. Ultimately, in many of you would have heard the wordings like with shipment and shipment cost. What is that? Your standard process is sales order, delivery, and billing. If I simplify the sales process at the highest level, I would call it, I create a sales order, I deliver the goods, and I invoice to the customer, so I receive the money. This is the most simplest. But then there is an additional part after delivery. You are not delivering by yourself. Probably you are hiring some transporter, or you are taking some like postal services like DHL or courier service and so on and so forth. You incur the cost. You may have special requirements around um, so if you are dealing with the very recent situation, COVID-19, you are in the healthcare industry. Probably you may have a need of temperature controlled vehicles and logistics chain to handle those goods movement, and these all things are being covered or controlled as part of the logistics execution, shipment and shipment cost in general. And the advanced module on this one is transportation management. I think TM 9.0 is the most latest. Um, Hibaran, I did not understood the meaning of STMS and TSM config. What do you mean by that? Hibaran, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can hear you.
STMS system. STMS is a transaction code where we are importing the request from dev to QA to PRD. And I'm just looking for the explanation system transport management where we are linking landscape like a dev, QA, and PRD.
We are going to talk
Suppose
about
that.
it. Yeah, we are going to talk about it. However, I'm not going to jump in any of the transaction code. We are going to talk more about system landscape and how the general system landscape in an implementation system works, and why do we design it that way. We are going to discuss it on the conceptual level.
So,
Okay,
but
so actually I understand that you have mentioned TM. Is it travel management or is it transport
Ah,
management?
so TM, when I mention it, I mean to say it's a part of the, it's a part of your logistics process, which is a transportation management, which covers like, trucks, how your how your deliveries, multiple deliveries will be part of your truck. How would you planning? What route will you take? Why are you taking that route? How would you pay to your vendor?
Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, leave it. Actually, I understand TM is a travel transport
Okay.
management. That's why I have asked such question. Otherwise, leave it. No
No,
issue.
no, no. That's totally fine. That's the reason why we
this
are in the call, right?
this
So that's fine.
transport management is one of the functional module which he is talking about. But the one question what you have raised STMS is that is whenever you do some configuration changes or any report changes, all those changes will be saved in one of the requests. And that is by using STMS, they transport from one particular system to another system by using a STMS T code. So that's a different.
Yeah,
Here
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
here the trainer is talking about a functional module, one module called a transport management.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sai.
I know as about
Mhm.
STMS, but I'm looking the explanation.
Yeah.
Just TMS travel manage. Oh, sorry, transport management system configure like suppose we have a three server, dev, QA, and PRD. So sometime these are all server should be matched in a landscape. In such case we can move the TR from dev to QA and PRD. If we want to exclude some server from dev and include another one dev in a, so these are the travel transport management system configuration. We can exclude one server from landscape, or as per our requirement we can include new server. So
Uh,
such point where I'm looking explanation, nothing
and
else.
Ahibaran, I think you fair point, and I understood your point. Truthfully, we are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about
Okay.
standard landscape and why, how, and what, and how these things moves. Definitely, I'm not going to go in a technical details of those things, and sometimes there's a good enough chance that I may not be working on that technical details. But I would try to cover it as detailed as possible, and then we can touch base any other questions if you have. But
Yeah,
when I
no, it's
mean
not at all.
earlier
Please go ahead. No
transportation
issue.
management, it was more like a functional module, as Sai mentioned as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Then I think more or less I touched on topic, but let me continue with our next topic so we can utilize still our time. And thanks guys for being pretty interactive. This is very nice. Thank you.